We're going to be reading It Feels Good to Be Yourself, a book about gender identity. So, with that being said, let's dive into it. This is a beautifully illustrated book. This is Ruthie. There's Ruthie right over here. She's getting off the bus. She's a transgender girl. That means when she was born, everyone thought she was a boy, until she grew a little older, old enough to tell everyone that she's actually a girl. Girl is Ruthie's gender identity. This is Ruthie's brother, Xavier. Xavier is a cisgender boy. That means when Xavier was born, everyone thought he was a boy, and as he grew older, it turns out everyone was right. He is a boy. Boy is Xavier's gender identity. Okay, so Ruthie and Xavier are brother and sister. There are so many different ways to be a boy or a girl. Too many to fit in a book. But not everyone feels like either a boy or a girl. Non-binary is a helpful word that can describe a kid who doesn't feel exactly like a boy or a girl. This is Ruthie's friend Alex. Alex is both a boy and a girl. When Alex was born, everyone thought Alex was a girl. But Alex is both boy and girl. This is Alex's gender identity. So that's how she sees herself. This is Alex's friend, JJ. Here's JJ right here. JJ is neither a boy nor a girl. Ever since JJ was very little, they never felt exactly like a boy or a girl. They just felt like themselves. This is JJ's gender identity. So JJ is neither a boy or a girl. They're just themselves. Alex and JJ, right here, it's Alex, that's JJ, are both non-binary. Just like there are many different ways to be a boy or a girl, there are many different ways to be non-binary. Too many to fit in a book. Some kids feel like girls. Some kids feel like boys. Some kids feel like a little bit of both, part boy, part girl. Some kids don't feel exactly like a boy or a girl. They feel like neither. Some kids feel that their gender identity isn't always the same. It's often changing. Look, everyone's playing, everyone's getting along and having a great old time. Everyone has these different gender identities. Here it says, and even with all these possible ways to be, some kids don't feel any of the words they know to fit them exactly right. There are a never-ending number of ways to be yourself in the world. What a lovely picture that is there. Whether you feel like a boy or a girl, both or neither, or if you describe yourself another way, that is your gender identity. Your gender identity might match what people thought when you were born, or it might not. So however you feel, that's your gender identity. It's pretty much what it's saying. See, when you were born, you couldn't tell people who you were or how you felt, right? You're too little. You didn't even know words yet. So you couldn't tell anyone how you feel. They looked at you and they made a guess. Maybe they got it right, maybe they got it wrong. What a baby's body looks like when they're born can be a clue to what the baby's gender will be, but not always. Okay? So looks and outward appearance, it's just a clue. It could be an indicator, but really what it comes down to is how the individual feels, right? So when people guess wrong, it's okay to let them know. Ruthie was 5 when she told her parents. She says, I know you think I'm a boy, but I really feel like a girl. So Ruthie looks like a boy, right? And her parents probably think that Ruthie's a boy, but he feels like a girl. And that's what's important. And that's his gender identity. Oops, Ruthie was a girl all along. They just didn't know it at first, right? It's all one happy, loving family. Ruthie's being herself. It feels good to be herself. And when people guess right, too, it's okay to let them know. Xavier, her brother, was 3.5 when he told his family, says, I'm a boy. I like being a boy, right? A big, happy family. Look at that really cute dog right here. You might feel like a boy. You might feel like a girl. You might feel like both a boy and a girl, or like neither. You might feel like your gender changes from day to day or from year to year. Or you might feel like none of these words describes you perfectly. You might not be sure yet. Maybe you're still figuring it out. So here's everyone having a good old time, being respectful, being themselves, being awesome. And I do believe this is the last page. And this one is very important. Your feelings about your gender are real. Listen to your heart. No matter what your gender identity is, you are okay exactly the way you are, and you are loved. It feels good to be yourself, doesn't it? So, what a lovely book. It's called It Feels Good to Be Yourself. It is a book about gender identity written by Theresa Thorn and illustrated by Noah Grigny. And the message ultimately is simple. It's the most important thing, just to respect each other and to love one another. And however you feel about yourself, that is your identity and that is your own. It does not matter what other people may think. As long as everyone loves everyone and is nice and respectful, it is important and it feels good to be yourself. So, thank you all for joining in. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties and getting a little bit later of a start. But please join us next Friday, when hopefully there won't be any technical difficulties, for another book in honor of Pride Month. So, thank you all.